Okay, welcome to Comeback Culture, a podcast where me, Gabby Dixon, is going through one of the hardest comeback challenges of my life. I have to get double hip replacement. I'm getting my second hip replacement tomorrow, quite literally. And on air today, we have a special guest here to help me get through it. He is also on his comeback train. This is my friend. He was the World Strongest Man 2019. He was the Arnold champion 2021. He was a row champion 2022. Those might be reversed, but nonetheless, he came back in 2024. He had a short break and now he's back in 2026. Welcome to my podcast, my friend Martins Licis. Let me see how I can add him to the stage. Hello.
Gabby Dixon, good to be
You made
on.
it. We figured it out.
We did it.
How are you doing today?
I feel like I'm gonna jump out of my skin. This is my last day at home, and I leave. Like I got to be at the airport like 5 a.m. So I got to get up at 4 a.m. And yeah, this is it. This is the last moment of respite for me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're definitely on the same page. I was just telling everybody I have my surgery tomorrow. I have to be there at 5:30 in the morning, and getting the two of us together in this like busy couple weeks leading up to our big days, my surgery, your big re-entry into the strongman circuit, your debut basically. Um yeah, it's been tough to get us online together, but I thought it was really important for us to capture this energy. So thank you for bearing with me and both of us having to reschedule several times. I think that it's going to be good for both of us.
Yeah, yeah, it's gotta be good. You and I are both going through something. Gosh,
Truly.
what you're going through that's a lot. I mean, you already got one hip replaced, and I remember
Yep.
the beginning. You were just hobbling around, then very quickly you started walking with a good gait to you. So I think the second surgery you're going to be just fine, and I'm excited for you too.
I I thank you. I appreciate that. I'm really looking forward to just feeling well again. I'm just gonna check my
Better.
so so I started this podcast because of my situation, and I just think that people would really benefit from hearing from myself and people who have gone through or are going through similar situations. So what I like to start off with is tell me about little Martines. Like what were you like growing up? Like what made you who you are today?
Oh gosh, yeah, little Martins. He had a wild imagination, loved running around outside, and most of all playing video games. Got really inspired by how cool orcs looked in the Warcraft universe, and just thought I wanted
Okay.
to be like them. And eventually, my dad dragged me into the gym because I was playing too many video games, and he wanted me to be fit. Uh, and I hated it. I hated going to the gym when I was a little kid, but my dad just like kind of urged me, pushed me along, and said like, "Hey, look, if you don't want to do this after a year, I get it, but like at least give it a strong shot because after a while you will get addicted to it." And lo and behold, he was right. After a year, when I started seeing those like results coming in, I was just 9 years old, turning 10, and I was like, "Yeah, I love this. I'm gonna be like one of those cool orcs from the video games I play."
Oh my gosh. You were 9 when you started?
Yeah, I was 9.
What kind of stuff were you doing in the gym back then?
Lots of calisthenics. My dad started me with just body weight stuff, lots of push-ups, lunges, pull-ups, sit-ups, planks. Started with that, and then it was just empty bar for high repetitions. He wouldn't let me go below 12 repetitions on anything. It
Oh
was all
wow.
just reps just to get my tendons strong, get me to understand the technique, perfect bar movements. And then after a few years, he allowed me to go below 10 reps and start lifting a little
Wow.
bit. Yeah.
So where was this set up? I know you're from over the sea somewhere. Where exactly was this? Set the
So
scene.
I'm originally from Latvia, a little country in Europe.
Okay.
Um, my grandparents have a farm out there, and my grandpa was a stone sculptor. That was another thing. Was as I was getting strong with my dad. We lived in Massachusetts. When I was like 4 years old, we moved over to Western Massachusetts in the United States.
Okay.
I would go visit my family farm in Latvia as a kid, and I remember I was lifting all these weights in the gym with my dad, and I always thought, okay, this is very arbitrary. I'm curious, what is like the biggest rock a person could lift? And during this time, I was like helping my grandpa move rocks around on the farm, and was also doing farmers carries with buckets of milk and water or whatnot.
Actual
Basically
farm
doing,
equipment.
yeah, basically doing strongman without knowing it. And I just got this curiosity, like, what is like the biggest rock someone could lift? Could someone like flip a car? Like, I know I'm lifting these numbers on these plates, but what does that mean? And then I saw on TV people doing like professional strongman. I was like, oh shoot, that's my calling. That's answering my curiosity as to what people can do. And ever since I was like 10 years old, I knew I wanted to compete in strongman.
Wow. So it sounds like your dad was your first coach then.
Absolutely, yeah. I
And was
wouldn't be doing
he
this without my dad. There's no doubt about that.
and is he big in lifting? Like this, like what is his history? Like like how does he know so much about the barbell or stone lifting or any of that?
He was just just very well read. He
Okay.
was a hobbyist, but an kind of just enthusiastic about it. So he was self-taught for the most part. I mean, he trained with a lot of people in the gym, picked people's minds.
Sure.
Um, and he had a very good approach in training me from that and taking it slow, teaching me about patience. I think that's the number one thing he taught me was just to go with quality over quantity. To teach
Mm-hmm.
me to not obsess over getting too big and too strong too quickly, to build a strong base, to
Mm-hmm.
understand technique. And those principles have stood by me for all of my career.
Wow. So have you been coached by anybody else or has it just been your dad and then you kind of been doing your own thing since then?
I've definitely picked a lot of minds. I've trained with Ode Haugen for a long time. So I'd say he was my first like coach into the strongman side of things, like thoroughly coaching me on how to lift stones, how to clean and press a log, dumbbell, etc. But my programming, that ever since I stopped training with my dad and moved on in my life, it's all been my own. I feel like I learned so much from him. That, and I also got certified as a personal trainer. So I continued to write programs for other people and myself. And
Yeah.
and as I would compete, I would also pick the minds of other athletes. And as I would train with them, I would pick their minds and try to incorporate a little bit from everybody around me.
Very cool. So so you're born in Latvia. You moved when you were 4 to, did you say Chicago or sorry,
Western Massachusetts. It was
Western
Amherst,
Massachusetts?
Massachusetts. Yeah.
Okay. And then were you an only child? Did you have siblings? Like what was your family situation like?
I was an only child until I was 18. Now I got
Wow.
two half brothers, but I feel more like an uncle to them just because of that age difference.
That's fair. You guys close at all?
Oh yeah, I love my brothers.
Oh, I love that. Okay, cool. So you've pretty cool family dynamic. You grew up in America for the most part then, but went back for you said summers in Latvia?
Yeah, I would go back in the summers, visit my family, but definitely spent most of my life in the U.S.
Okay, cool. What's something that people should know about Latvia? Like what's something that people should know about that country?
Ooh, what is something that? It's one of the greenest countries in Europe.
Oh,
I think half of it is forest, or over half of it is forest. Incredibly beautiful. It's one of the oldest Indo-European languages, other than Lithuanian, and it's also very closely related to Lithuanian. So a lot of people
okay.
mistake it thinking it sounds like Russian. No, it doesn't at all. It's very different from Russian. Um,
Okay. And do you
God,
speak the language?
I speak the language. Yes,
How do you say hello?
Sveiki.
Sveiki. Okay. Sveiki. See, we're learning something already. I love this. Thanks for letting me pick your brain. I'm
Right.
just kind of a nerd. What kind of a kid were you in like high school? Were you like a nerdy kid? Were you like a popular kid? Did you do
Oh,
other sports?
I was such a nerdy kid. I, I was still. I never stopped playing video games. I was also drawing a lot, painting a lot. Still do to this day. But when I'm in like kind of survival, fight or flight mode of competition, like my creativity goes out the window. Like so when I'm farther away from competition, I start painting more. But yeah, right now taking a bit of a break. Wait, what was quick? All right, how I was as a high schooler? That's what it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, so nerdy kid, very. introverted, shy, goofy as all hell.
I believe
Um,
that.
and the other kids that I typically hung out with were other nerds. So I was not hanging out with the jocks or the popular like party goers. But with that said, the funniest thing is I was by far the strongest, biggest motherfucker.
I, I tend to believe that too. I
Yeah.
can absolutely. So, did you do any other sports, or was it just like barbell
So
lifting?
I did American football freshman year, and I was the only freshman in varsity. Um, and
Naturally.
then I decided I don't like it, so I quit after 1 year. And then I did wrestling, and I did really well in wrestling. I got third place in Western Massachusetts. Um, but I also didn't started to not like wrestling. I love wrestling, but I wanted to lift more, and I had gotten my first romance and girlfriend when I was 18, so I decided I want to enjoy my last year of high school as a hedonist, and
Love it.
I have no regrets. I have no regrets. It was a wonderful year.
I love that. That's so cool. And then, so nothing in college then?
Nothing. I went to college for 1 year for computer science, and was just lifting through it, and decided I really don't like sitting and staring at screens and reading a lot of material. I just felt like I was just wanted to jump out of my seat constantly. So then I moved out to California because I wanted to be around warm weather, palm trees, beautiful
Yeah.
people, and just find my way in life and do strongman. And that's what I
Yeah.
did. Mm-hmm.
I think you came into the right spot. But now you're here. Now you're here in the Pacific Northwest, or the beautiful Pacific Northwest. How are you
Yeah,
liking it out this way now?
I'm loving it. Funny thing is, a kid growing up, I loved the heat and I wanted to get away from the cold. And then I gained some pounds. And now I really love the cold. I want to get away from the heat.
They're like, get me out of here.
Yeah. And I
I
love it.
know.
I love the Pacific Northwest. It's just so refreshing being around all this nature, green lakes. Have my garage where I could go back to my introvert ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just lift up. I love lifting in my space. That's been my dream for years. I opened a gym for that sake, and it gave me way more stress than I would have liked. And
Yeah.
now having my space here is just wonderful.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad you're here. Like, for those watching, Martins and I are actually sitting probably only about 40 minutes apart from each other right now, but just for the sake of technology, we decided to do this virtually, and for timing because we're both, like I said, very, very busy.
Yeah,
But yeah, Martins doesn't live far from me at all. He moved down here earlier this last year, right? Was
that's
it
right. November, I came up here. Oh,
November?
mhm.
Yeah, I figured we tell the people how do you remember us meeting? Because I remember how we met, but how do you remember us meeting
I
or crossing
remember
paths?
us meeting for the World's Strongest Team competition versus the UK.
Yep.
Um, and so the first time like you and I really talked was over the Hercules hold, where it was going to be your first time, and I was just telling you like, hey, like you just gotta grab it, sit into it, and just giving you like some positional cues, and then you went off and destroyed it like as if it's like something you've been doing since birth. Like,
I
just
did
blew
exactly what you
all of
told me
our
to
minds.
do.
Yeah, just blew all of our minds.
It was, yeah, that was such a fun event, and I remember being like, I'm gonna be good at this. I just immediately knew that I was gonna be good at the event. And then when you told me how to do it, like the best way to sit into it, I was like, sweet, done deal. And your
Yeah,
advice was so perfect. And people were like, oh, she's sweating too much and she's da 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 da. And like, well, you can look at Martine's because he did the exact same way and it was
yeah,
perfectly fine. So
I love it.
yeah,
Yeah. Like I
I
knew
rem-
your grip wouldn't be a problem. You just needed to not let it rock you left or right, and you just grounded yourself, and it was just
it was
took
done.
off.
It
Yeah,
was perfect. It was the best advice ever. Yeah, I remember I can't remember if it was before or after that we had dinner. Probably before that first competition, and we all were just chit-chatting and just sharing about life. And I was like, "This guy's really cool. Like, I want to be Martine's friend. Like, you just always were such a
oh,
kind, sweet
thank
person."
you.
And when I found out, I did the event and it was great, and I was like, "Well, at least." he'll remember me from that. Like, that'd be cool. And then when you hit me up when you were coming out this way, I was like, dang, that is really dope. And I just wanted you to know that I've always just loved your vibe. You've been like my favorite strongman because I feel like I can relate to, like, you seem like you are somebody who does seek balance. You don't seem like one of the people who is out there super like mean, hardcore, giving people the cold shoulder. You're just doing your thing. And I've just admired that. And that's how I feel when I'm competing too. Like, it's just like I'm in my zone, I'm doing my thing, but like I don't have to be a jackass. Like I can still have fun because I'm here because I personally I related to when you said that you didn't like the gym at first. And like I sometimes still don't like the gym. Like I sometimes still I get why it makes me feel better when I leave and I get the endorphins and I like seeing the gains, but it's always been a struggle. But I love competing. Competing is my favorite part. And so that
Oh,
to me is like the
wow.
funness for me. Um, and I could see the joy when you're competing as well. I can see that it's something that you genuinely like love.
I'm
Um,
really glad you're bringing that up because that is something I want to bring back. Uh, Having taken a couple of years off, coming back to it, I am nervous. I want to run away. To be frank,
yeah,
it's like so I'm facing these new feelings that I got to ground out in all of this, and it's scary, but also exciting. Excited to be back, and it's gonna be fun, but I gotta make sure that I keep my head grounded. So that's like I said that today. I just want to jump out of my skin. It's the tension
yeah.
so real.
Yeah, I can only imagine what that's gonna feel like for me in a couple months to a year of like, oh gosh, like I've been relaxing. This is gonna be it's gonna be a lot. What's your game plan? Like what so tell me, this is not your first comeback, obviously. Like you've taken breaks. I'm sure you've been injured before. So tell me like what in your mind so far has been like your best comeback story?
My best comeback story was definitely coming back for the Rogue. I had taken a big break. That was 2021, so I didn't compete in 2020. And I didn't compete for most of 2021. It was only at the very end. I mean, the Rogue was at the end. So 2 year, also 2 year break. Um, and I remember I was just thinking, okay, I just got to go out and have fun. I can't not be a part of this competition. It's such a big deal. The Rogue is putting on their own comp. It's going to be the highest paid show ever.
Yep.
Um, no way am I skipping this, no matter how terrified I am or like how beat up I am. I just got to go out in a blaze of glory, at least give it my all. And I remember, I think it was in August, right before the show, I got appendicitis, and it had ruptured. I had to be in the hospital for like a week,
Yeah.
and it was cut open in 3 different places. I remember, like before going under, like telling the surgeon, like, "Hey, I got to compete in a couple months here. Is there any way that you could be as minimally invasive as possible so I could compete?" He's like, "Man, that is crazy." I'm like, "Listen, there's no way I miss this competition." He's like, "I'll see what I can do." And I was so lucky that I had a fantastic surgeon, because I remember when I came out of the anesthesia, the coma, he said, "Well, good news is I was able to do this orthoscopically. It had ruptured, it had started to go septic, and I was still able to clean it up. But that also means, because I had to be so minimally invasive, that we just need you to be in the hospital for a while, so because we need to monitor you." So then I was like, "Okay, thank you, doc. That's amazing. I'll be
Yeah.
here." So then I
Yeah.
was in the hospital for a week, and oh my gosh, that appendicitis is something else, you guys. I remember multiple days, like I just couldn't eat. I couldn't go to the bathroom. Walking felt nearly impossible, just excruciating pain and weakness. And I always remember thinking, like, I don't know what the hell I'm thinking that I could compete after such a surgery. Um,
Yeah.
and also hearing that basically it would take 6 months to really reinforce my abdomen again, so I don't get
Right.
hernias. Um, but okay, yeah, I'm gonna do my best and risk getting a hernia, I suppose. And after a week in the hospital, I came home and just immediately started doing an immense amount of rehab, working with Dr. Janae Brown from Physical Therapy San Pedro, and started getting to work and being very, like, I was squatting 600 pounds like 2 weeks after surgery, but without bracing. I was teaching myself to squat with a relaxed abdomen. So I basically held myself at an ever so subtle good morning constantly, just so I could relax my abs and just squatted so carefully and so slowly. And all of my training was like this. I was just trying to be like I would, of course, do planks and whatnot to train my abs obsessively. But anything that would put an exorbitant amount of pressure on them, I would just try to teach myself to not need to brace to do the lifts. And
That's
oh,
crazy.
it's crazy. It's crazy. And only like the last 2 weeks of training before Rogue was I really able to amp up fully and go, okay, I think I've reinforced my core. I could start bracing again. And then I was able to start putting some heavy weights on things, and it all came together. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go to Rogue. I'm going to do decently. I'm going to have fun. There's no way I could really realistically expect to win the show, but as always, not going to let any moment slip. I'm going to capitalize on every single slip my opponents have and keep the game plan the same, like gunning for first, but accepting that that's not really realistic. So, lo and behold, okay, I did my deadlift. I remember during this time I had horrible hip pains, and anything above 900 pounds just had me limping for weeks. So just my game plan was get 900, make it fast, and then just let off on the hip, because deadlift was just going to destroy my hip. So I did 900 pounds, and that was enough for, I think, third place in the deadlift. So I'm like, okay, we got some
We'll
good
take
points.
it.
I got lucky here. Yeah. I forgot the exact order of events, but I know we had a dumbbell medley, and
Mm-hmm.
I was able to place top 3 in that. Then we had the Conan's wheel, got second place in that. Yoke carry to log press, I think I got second or third place in that. I remember this whole time, because I was just constantly getting top 3. I was accumulating enough points, but no one was paying attention to me because I
Right,
wasn't
right.
winning any events. And even the announcer said, "Hey, so when are you gonna win an event so we can interview you?" I'm like, I don't. I'm gonna win the last event, so I don't have to burn any energy in
Yeah.
doing interviews. So yeah, I'll see you at the end of the show when I win the last event. And then lo and behold, I was going up against Tom Stoltman and the Stones, and he had crushed it, and I was. We were tied in points at this point. So I had to win the Stones to win the show, and I locked in and won the Stones, won the Rogue.
Oh my
And
God.
then I did my interview.
And then you did your interview. What did you
Yeah.
say?
I said, "Hey, sorry guys, it took me a while. I just didn't want to burn any energy doing interviews beforehand."
You had to lock the hell in.
Yeah,
You knew what you were just chomping at it the whole time. That is such a cool story.
yeah,
I
thank
had
you.
no idea that it was after appendicitis. I had only just started in 2019, so I really wasn't quite paying attention to everything just yet. And that was the first year of the Rogue, right?
Yeah, yeah, that was the first one.
Wow. Do you think do you, in my mind, like, do you think that the training without bracing maybe gave you an advantage?
It might have, because it made me so locked in with my body and allowed me to. I got to remember that, to maybe to somehow incorporate that in my training, because I think it allowed me to save my adrenaline as well, because I was lifting to such a decent, good capacity without amping up and like just going ballistic with tensing my body. And I think there's a lesson to be learned from that, and I haven't quite unpacked that yet. Maybe there is
Yeah,
a benefit to that.
there has to be something because I I think breathing and breath are to me the most important for training, especially for reps. If you're not breathing, you're dead, right? So like
Yeah,
you
100%.
have to learn how to do that. But I'd be very curious to know what some of the science might be behind that. We should get a specialist on here next time and see what
Yeah,
they have to say. I mean, you would probably be the specialist to be fair, but like somebody who's in the sciences to come and just like break that down because that's really cool.
yeah.
I bet
Thank you.
that yeah, I bet that gave you a and then the confidence you have then too cuz like if push comes to shove, you know you can still do something without needing to brace. Like you were
Yeah,
just built different at this point.
It was wild. It was truly wild, and I have some thinking to do about that.
Yeah. Sorry to just throw another thing into your plan here, but that's really dope. What do you think? So you've had a couple different comebacks now. What is some of the worst advice? Like I know you do pretty good about keeping your head down and doing your thing and don't pay attention to too much outside noise, but what's some like bad advice someone's giving you when it comes to like making a comeback or getting ready for competition? Have you had any of that?
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know if I've had any bad advice, but what some advice that has come my way that I've ignored, and I don't know if it has merit. Maybe it has merit for some people. Um, People always notice that, hey, you're doing the biggest, heaviest shows after a long break. Don't you think you should do like a smaller show to get the cobwebs off? And I just don't work that way. I feel like that would distract me from my ultimate aim and mission. And the training itself will get the cobwebs off, is my opinion. And that any show that I do will just take away from the training that I could have done specific towards what I want to win or do well at. So I suppose if somebody has doesn't do well in front of a crowd with the rhythm of a competition, if they're new at competing, yes, I think doing like a smaller show to get a feel for the way a show runs, how to pace your adrenaline, how to pace your rest, and also amping up, how to know when to start warming up for a show, like those little
Mm-hmm.
details. Um, yes, then do a smaller show to get ready for a bigger show. But for me, been competing for so long. I know how to time when to warm up. I know how to lay down, breathe in through one nostril and out the other to calm myself down, and then bring myself back up for when it's time to do the next event. All of that is just like riding a bike to me.
Yeah, yeah. You do some of the same breathing stuff that I've been taking on, and I don't even remember where I got like the breath of fire that I saw you doing your double the other day with your deadlifts. I think you had like 901 or something on the bar, and you were doing like basically like breath of fire. Where did you get all of these breathing techniques from?
Um, Wrestling, high school
Oh.
wrestling. I remember that there was a moment that clicked for me where I wanted to feel like before a match, not like I'm just tense, but I fill up my body with as much oxygen as I can, so that way I could go on longer, and also that my sympathetic nervous system is just all awake as possible as awake. I want to feel tingles all the way down to my toes and my fingertips. I want to be aware of every part of my body. And if I haven't taken those breaths, I feel like I'm living neck up and my body is just an autopilot. And I don't want that. I want to be in my body. So I'm breathing and trying to feel my nerves running down all of my toes and hands and legs and arms, just so I'm fully in tune with where I'm in space and the tension that I could produce when I need to.
Do you ever get so I do something similar and I in my experiences, because I started a little bit later with the competing as like a strong person or as a power lifter, there's like almost like a threshold because if you don't intentionally feel it, you almost feel like you're floating when you're in that space. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I've done that before where I'm like, then you can't feel anything and then you can't like it's like over the threshold. So it's like a really
Yes.
specific mindful like grounding practice of like getting just enough to where you're still in your body but you're also like at this point of like flow almost where you can go in and like
Yeah.
do the things.
And that is something I actually have to admit, I think I was better at when I was a little bit younger. It's harder for me to find that headspace lately.
Hmm.
Um, so that is something I'm nervous of the yips. I don't want to have the
Yeah.
when I go out there. And I feel like it's been plaguing me a little bit, but I can't tell if that's a story I'm telling myself or if that's reality. But show day will show where I'm at. It'll teach me.
Well, they say your brain can't tell the difference between you telling it the truth or you telling it a lie. So just tell it. Just tell it it's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
We're go what is something that brings you back typically? What's something that like is like a grounding thought for you?
A grounding thought is that I'm doing this for a bigger purpose than myself, to
Mm,
inspire strength, to lift people up, to
hmm.
make the world a better place through this performance. It's not just about me. So I better be there to give it my all, better be fully present. Um, and then allow my body to be in reckless abandon, a Hail Mary for the competition. No more fear.
Yeah.
And if there's fear, it's just background noise.
Yeah. It to me, it almost like when you say it's not just about me, that almost kind of like I feel the same way because I feel like our platforms are so important and the people who are watching really get a lot out of the inspiration and wanting to do the same thing or wanting to do something similar or just going to the grocery store that day. Sometimes just watching us gives them the courage to do the next best thing. And I almost feel like it kind of invokes the power of like other people like us or people who have gone before us who have done cool stuff. So it's not even it's bigger than you and it's also not just you, like it's
Yeah.
there's a lot of power behind that statement, I think, and I think it's going to be really fun to watch you and just see you take that on. I'm just proud. I'm super excited. It's getting to know you as a friend has been so fun and getting to talk like this. I feel like we're like super deep in the weeds now because I knew we had these similar mindsets, but it's cool to talk to somebody who gets it.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Gabby. I really appreciate that. Same feel
Absolutely.
and vibe here. And I'm really excited just to be up here so we can just start training together, especially
Same.
when you're starting to heal up and I'm done with these competitions right now. I can't wait to just shoot the shit, hang out, get strong together, and also like just be there to support you for your coming competitions. Because I imagine that after those hips heal up, you're gonna also be firing and rearing to go.
Um, I hope so. I miss being really strong. I miss being really impactful. I've been an athlete for my entire life. Like I
Huh.
volleyball, basketball, track and field in college, rugby after college, and strongman and powerlifting since. So it's like definitely feels like a big part of my life has been missing, but in doing so, I've also been able to kind of strike that balance chord of like doing some other things that like will
Oh,
help me have longevity. My nonprofit, for example, Gym Space Equity, which you've
yeah.
been such a lovely supporter of. Thank you again for stepping up to do my auction and coming to my events. And you even helped clean up after after our Christmas event this last year. So I appreciate you so much for just being there. I think the the art of showing up is not lost. And those who get it. And I genuinely appreciate that. Um,
I
so
appreciate that as well. Thank you, Gabby. It's been
yeah,
amazing to be a part, and I'm also excited to be more part of your events more and more in the future.
it's gonna be great. What is some really good advice you've gotten from other people, from coach or really anybody?
Um, Funny, I don't know if it's the best advice, but the one that immediately comes to mind was when I was in my first World's Strongest Man competition in Botswana, and I was in the heats, and I'd done a couple events, and I think I won a couple events, and got the attention of Bill Kazmaier, and he pulled me aside. I was walking back to my room, and he said, "Martins, I see you're very strong. You remind me of a younger version of myself. All this fire, all this rage. I could see that you have this massive amount of adrenaline, this massive amount of fire. But I want you to like I don't want you to burn out. You need to save some for the finals, and that's where you're gonna just let loose like a bomb. So I want you to imagine all of this energy, this fury that you have, put it in a container, and each event of the heats, you just pour a little bit out, a little bit out.
Ooh.
And then when you get to the finals, that's when you unleash it all. You just let loose, and then you will conquer. Like,
Oh my God. That's
it's
that's such
like
a good visual.
I had like my bag in my left hand, I had my suitcase in my right hand, and I was just like tired, just ready to sleep. And it was like there was no street lights; it was dark, just like this little alleyway. And I was like, yes, Mr. Casmar, yes, yes.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you, thank you.
I love that. That's great advice. And did you use it? Like, do you have you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would remember him telling me that and just be like, okay, this event, just a little bit, amp up just a little bit. And then next event, okay, let's amp up, let's turn that dial a little bit more. And then the final event, I don't care how tired I am, I'm fully letting loose. There's no amount of energy I'm going to hold back anymore.
Oh my gosh. That's fabulous. I love visuals like that. A coach once told me, chip away at the mountain. Like just keep chipping away at the mountain. And I'm like, dang, like I never thought about it in the moment. And I was like, whatever. But like I still, when I have like a long workout or a big thing, just chipping away at it is still a visual for me. I'm trying to think of
That's
the other
good.
one.
The
My
visual patience and just being
yeah.
consistent and showing up.
Yeah, showing up once again. Showing up is half the battle. What was the other one? My college throwing coach, he was always like, you need to just keep building a bigger spoon. Keep building a bigger spoon so you can eat more cake and ice cream. Like
That's really
that was his training advice, was just keep making a bigger spoon so you can eat more cake and ice cream. All right, that was Mac Wilkins. He was Olympic bronze medalist. So like you gotta
That's
listen to it.
beautiful. I
Gotta
love
listen
it.
to the man.
Yeah. Damn, that's
Oh my
really good.
gosh. Oh, I'm trying to think. Let's see. Okay, something I've been curious, and like people see you and see Romark around. How did you and Romark cross paths? Do you want to speak on that? Can I hear a little bit about that origin story?
Yeah, absolutely. My goodness, that was years ago. When did we meet? 2012, 14, something around then. I was training with Ode, going to his garage constantly, training. Really loved it. And Romark was neighbors with Ode Haugen at the time, and basically was like Ode's grandson in a way, because Ode Romark would spend his youth just playing with Ode's son, and it would be over Ode's house constantly. Um, for those of you that don't know, Ode Haugen is a legend in the sport. In his 50s, he placed sixth in the world, and
Crazy.
he's just a testament to longevity and strength. And he's in his 70s, and not too long ago just deadlifted 500 pounds at Wrecked Gym. So he's
Crazy.
incredible, and still has one of the strongest grips in the world. Anyways, I would be training with Ode in the weekends at his garage, and one day Romark showed up. He was gone for a while, I think for like military leave of some sort, but um, finally came back home. And I remember there was just this small guy that was really loud that came in. We were in the middle of deadlifting sessions. He just came in, started yelling like, "What we doing, guys? Deadlifts, yeah!" And then just like walked up to a 400-pound bar, no warm up, lifted it, and said, "Good lift," and then just like went off. Didn't even stay for the rest of the workout. And I was like, this guy is so obnoxious. Jesus Christ. So
That's so good. And you've been best friends ever since, or like?
it took a while. It took a while. It was like years later. I think it was 2018 when Romark approached me, and now we're like, I'm starting to get used to him. Like, okay, this guy's just a fiery energy. This is who he is. That I quite like him. I wouldn't say like we're close friends or anything, but we've seen enough of each other that I'm like, oh, this guy's cool. All right, I get that he's obnoxious, but he's got a heart of gold, and he's always here to support and love and be here for people. So I appreciate him. And then he said, "Hey, you got to start a YouTube channel." I'm like, "I just don't have the patience or energy for that. I'm just going to compete, be a coach, and yada yada." And he's like, "Well, maybe if I put the camera on you, I could make the videos, and you just do what you do." I'm like, "Okay, sure." Other people have mentioned it, but yeah, if you really want to, let's do it. And then the next day, he showed up with his camera equipment. I was just like, "Okay, I guess we are doing this." And then we started shooting YouTube videos together. Never stopped. And then we became like best friends from all that. So many adventures, really got to know each other, travel the world, uh, wins, losses, and it has been a journey.
I love that. And when was that? What year was that? Do you remember when he first approached you?
2018, yeah, right, yeah.
Okay,
So
so
right
you're
at the
you're
end of
8 years
2018,
in.
Yeah, then like leading up to then we went to the Arnold's. I think I got second there, and that was like a big light bulb moment because I realized how close I was to Thor, and like that just a little bit of a nudge more, I could have won Arnold, and that was an enormous moment for me, saying, "Oh, I don't just belong competing next to these guys; I could beat them." And that's when I started training with fury for Worlds because I'd gotten a taste of being so close to winning that I knew if I really lock in, I could win Worlds. And that's
Yeah.
when I won.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's really cool. I love hearing the stories like friendships and how they develop. I some of the best friendships start off a little rocky with one person being like, "Oh, I don't know about this guy."
Yeah,
And yeah, I was curious about that.
yeah,
So okay, tell me now, we've talked about the background, talked about, some of the relationships that are in play here. What was like the reasoning behind or the scene for when you needed to take a break this last most recent time? Because you said 2024 was the last time you competed?
yeah. So 2024, Arnold, my training was going pretty damn good. Um, but I herniated my back in training. I went a little too heavy on deadlifts because I got really excited with where my strength was. And then I got really bad sciatica down my right leg. And I remember on show day, I couldn't even stand on the toes of my right leg. It was really shutting down. My
Oof.
nerve was just so pinched. It's like I felt like I was walking on a like just a block of wood. That's what my leg felt like. Um, I didn't like that. I didn't want to. I knew I needed to heal. I needed to reassess. I didn't want to push through competitions limping with one and a half legs. So decided to pull back and reassess and focus on other things in life. I felt like with strongman, I get so tunnel visioned. The rest of my life kind of blurs out into the background, um, and I feel like I'm not present for people in my life when I'm focused on strongman. So I decided I wanted to live life a little bit, be present for my gym, my friends, my family, loved ones, um, and it was worth it. It was a great couple of years, and we did strength unknown. We really dove into strength unknown, and I loved that. And now I got this itch, like, okay, I think my body has a little bit more to give. I'd love to give it another shot, go out with a bang. So now I'm back, at least for a little bit. I think I'm ready. I'm going to be ready to retire after this year.
Amazing. Sorry, I have to mute myself because today of all days and to the time of all times, they're pressure washing my house because they're getting ready to sell it.
Oh, amazing. I can't hear it at all.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, that's great.
Um,
Yeah.
but that's wonderful. How was it like being a normie for a couple years? Because you're never really gonna be normal. Like
Yeah.
that's just kind of the thing. I know you
No,
get that. But what were the things that you feel were of the most value, and what's something that you think was like so small, but you found yourself appreciating it more than you realized you would in that time frame?
oh, wow. Yeah. Like one thing that happened was I remember 2024 Arnold's is probably the least I enjoyed lifting. I started to really like dread going to training. Felt like it was just chore and job that I had to get done to compete. Especially when that sciatica started hitting, I'm like, why am I like? I really started questioning it. Started resenting it, and I just missed loving lifting. And when I took that pressure off from needing to get ready for competition, I remember just enjoying being in the gym, not necessarily having a plan, just a little bit of a plan, but what do I want to do today? What do I want to train? How do I make this fun and enjoy it? And I just started lifting purely for feeling good,
Mm.
purely for my health. And I started doing jujitsu, and I fell in love with jujitsu, or at least I started doing it much more intensely. And I realized that, oh, my cardio is getting better. I could breathe better. I feel like my energy's up. And then I fell in love with that sport, and I fell in love with traveling and still being strong, but allowing other people to, like, being there for purely other people to explore what other people are up to. It's no longer about my journey and getting strong for competition. I could just relax and be like, that's a cool lift that you did. I'm going to try it, but who cares if I can do it? That felt fun. And it just, like, I started really enjoying the world of strength again. That was huge. And then outside of that, I mean, I continued playing video games. I did a little bit of art. I had a great time with friends and loved ones, and well, what could I say? It was blissful.
Yeah, yeah. I certainly was a beneficiary of your helping people with their lifts because you came in and did a couple sessions with us at Dungeon. That was super cool. Really grateful for that moment because, man, we got a lot of information and learned some stuff. And then also you came to my gym and you came and literally
Yeah,
hung out with me. We were
that was
like
so fun.
hanging on
Yeah,
bars, and
I
it
love
was
that.
it was such a good pick me up for me because I was struggling that year. It was a rough year for my my cycle because I had missed an invite, but I didn't know how to get in, and you guys just came in, and it was just like a really positive thing to like have happen, and to then get to start to train with you, and no, you know, it was cool for me too. So I remember this is my second time being a normie, uh, being a normal person. But right after college, I did like a year where I tried to train post collegiately for the discus because I don't talk about this too often, but I actually had the Olympic B standard for the discus. So I was going to go to the Olympic trials in the discus my
That's
senior
all
year in college. And
very
for whatever reason, they took the top 16 instead of the top 20 that year. Throwers
yeah.
always kind of get the shaft in those situations, but I was sitting at number 18. So I didn't get to go to the trials. And I said, you know what? We'll train for a year, kind of fell out of love with it. And then I came back and I was like, let's just do this like being a normal person for
Yeah,
a year. Because at that point, I'd been I was basically a three-sport athlete, all middle school, high school, and then collegiate athlete. So doing a 9 to 5, and I I couldn't just do a 9 to 5 and be social. I like started I started becoming a professional singer. So I was actually singing out around town at like a bunch of jazz clubs and had a couple bands I was in. And I remember just being, okay, this is really fun. But I started getting that itch again too, and I was like, there's more that I feel like my body can do. Like I'm still strong. There's a reason why I'm so strong, and that's what got me into rugby, which ultimately got me into strongman, which ultimately got me into like meeting you. And was it
oh, that's so cool.
2023 that we met
I
at the,
think so. I
or it
think
might have been
so.
20, I yeah,
I
because
don't
Worlds
remember.
was 2021,
Might have been
and
24.
then 22. I think they did it in 22 and 23, and I think 22 was the year that we met, I think. Do you hear that now? Do you hear the people outside?
Now I heard it just a little
It's
bit. It's very faint.
obnoxious.
Oh gosh,
Here.
yeah.
Let me see if they'll stop in a few seconds. Okay, let me see what other questions I got for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our competition this weekend. How are we feeling now? Are you feeling more nervous now that we've talked, less nervous now that
I
we've
think
talked?
talking actually really helps because I think one bad habit I've developed over the last few weeks is I've been wanting to run away from the tension and the fear and even thinking about it. And I don't think that helps me. I think in the past, I would just really sit with myself in the discomfort, ground it out, and face it. And that helped me. And I think lately I've been trying to distract myself from even thinking about it, and avoiding people, and just like, I've been nervous, man. And I think talking it through it, talking about the past, talking about where we are now, allows me to ground, like feel the tension, feel the angst, and then ground it out and be like, hey, it's okay. All of it's okay. I remember like just remembering how Rogue went. The odds were totally stacked against me, and it came together fine. There's no reason that this can't be the same. And right now, my body's feeling pretty dang good. I think the only thing I'm really nervous, truly scared of, is the dumbbell. It just hasn't been going as good as it used to, but everything else is in a very good place. So I gotta, as long as I could just really lock in on that dumbbell, this show should go very well.
I would have to agree. And I'm really glad that you sat with it and sat with me and talked with me. Because this is gonna be a great little this is a great little thing to look back on and see, after the competition, no matter what happens, like it'll still be a cool thing to have, and you'll get to hopefully we'll get to have another conversation in a couple of months. Depending on what invites you get and whatever else, we can just have a good convo and see how things went during your comeback season. If there was any kind of advice you could give to other people, maybe even me, in making this comeback, what would you like to say? What would you say to us?
To anyone that's making a comeback, especially after an injury, um, take it slow. That doesn't mean don't lift. Lift a lot, train a lot, move a lot. Active recovery is paramount. It is everything. Um, do whatever your body can do without pain. Of course, pain is very different than muscle burn or soreness. So just be aware of your joints and focus on slowing things down, controlling them, relearning the motions. I had a phenomenal strength coach that I picked the mind of. Called his name was Tom DeLong. He unfortunately passed during COVID, but a good friend of mine, and I learned a lot from him. And the way that he structured his programs was first you learn the movements. All about it is about quality. You're not caring about weights or how fast you're moving. None of that. You're just being meticulous about learning the movements, the bar paths, and also learning what your deficiencies are so you can uh, handle them in the future programming. So learn, um, control. So now you start controlling the movements, slowly getting heavier, but building stability in the movements. You're taking your time to iron out any kinks, any areas where you feel unstable. You just all of your focus is going on controlling. So that could also mean tempo work. So 3 to 5 seconds down, 3 to 5 seconds up, slowing things down so that way you can have even force production throughout the entire range of motion rather than relying on uh, immense power and force developed in one part of the motion that carries momentum through. You want to be able to carry power through that every single angle of each motion and not rely on an explosive jolt of force to carry the motion through the entire way. So that's learn, control, and then load. Start getting heavier, slowly getting heavier, slowly lowering the repetitions, building up that strength, building up the ability to handle more weight. And then final phase is explode. This is when you've built up to the capacity to handle weight. You start focusing on your speed. Now you start getting explosive. You might even go down in weight, just getting faster and faster, just getting it as precise as you can with that explosive force. And I think a lot of people just go to load and explode, and they don't spend a lot of time in learn and control. And I think these two phases are so fundamental to building an incredible base to build the ability to handle more weight without getting injured.
Yeah, I was like, I need a notebook and paper, but then I remembered that I have recordings. So
Very nice.
this is perfect. No, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to taking a lot of time in steps 1 and 2,
Yes.
uh,
I
because
spent like
I'm
two
not in a
years in step
rush.
one and two. That's what the
Yeah,
last couple of years were for me.
yeah, I am not in a rush to get back to training heavy because God, that sucks.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I want to do it,
You're,
but
the more
I
patient you are, the better it's going to be.
yeah, and I want to be strong and I want to feel good about it. I don't want to feel those, like you said, the deficiencies. Um, they start poking holes real fast, and then all of a sudden you can't walk right. So
That's right. Yeah.
I'm I'm grateful for this time, this really valid time and stretch uh to take a minute and just do those things. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Gabby.
Oh, this has been so lovely. I think we are about to wrap up, but where do you want people to find you? What's the best way for people to see your work and or connect with you? Like, what's the best way you want to plug yourself?
So if you guys want to follow me, check me out on YouTube, Martins Licis, MartinsLicis on YouTube. Check out our playlist Strength Unknown. Romark and I have put a lot of love and effort into that. So that's our best quality content that we have out there. And I want you guys to see it. I want you to explore strength cultures around the world with us. We'll be going back to making more of those episodes after competition is done. And other than that, same name on Instagram. And I also have been live streaming my workouts lately. So leading up to Worlds, I'll be live streaming them as well on YouTube and Twitch. So on Twitch, it's Martins_Licis. So same thing. So look up my name on Twitch or YouTube. Join me on my live streams. And then finally, I also love playing video games, and I love live streaming those. So check me out on Twitch for the video game streams. I do those typically in the evening.
I
Crimson
was
Desert is coming out on March 19th. You bet I'll be playing the shit out of that video game as I train for Worlds. So come and join those live streams as well.
I was just gonna say for the gamers out there, that's your number one is the Crimson Desert or the
Oh
what's your
yeah, I'm
yeah.
so excited for it. I hope it's good. Of course, we don't know yet. Just crossing my fingers that it's the game delivers.
Hell yeah. Is there other games that you tend to go for too?
Lately, it's been Overwatch, so it's a competitive team shooter, team hero shooter, and I've been playing as Jetpack Cat, which is a cat that flies around healing allies and transporting them, and is also a menace because you could just fly in and scratch the enemy's faces and fly away real quick. Cats are
Amazing.
meant to fly, guys. Cats were always meant to fly. That's what I learned.
Cats are meant to fly. I like that. Well, thank you so much, Martines. It has been lovely chatting with you. I'm so grateful to know you, and I'm so looking forward to watching you make your comeback as I recover from my surgery tomorrow. And it's just going to be great. It's a full circle moment, and I'm so proud of you. And yeah, I love you so much. Thank you for
I
being
love
here.
you so much too, Gabby. Thank you so much for having me. Sorry that was
Awesome.
hard to get me on. This has just been a crazy few weeks, but let's do this again.